Welcome back to City Insider, your go-to home for the hottest and most exciting updates on the citizens. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest content. Man City youngster complete late transfer move. Michael Cherki has completed a move to Hungarian top-flight side Puszta's Academia after his 9-year stay with Manchester City came to an end. The 19-year-old has signed a 3-year contract with the Hungarian runners-up after he was allowed to leave City earlier this week, having spent 9 years at the club's academy. Cherki left City on Wednesday after he was given permission to make the move to the FIS Liga side, signing a deal on deadline day in Hungary as he pursues an opportunity in first-team football. The former Bolton Wanderers youngster, who joined City in 2016, was born in Manchester to a Hungarian mother and a Nigerian father and has represented Hungary under-21s on 3 occasions. He is with their squad this week for an international against Lithuania. Cherki to social media on Wednesday to confirm his City exit and reflect on his time at the club. "Thank you to Manchester City for making my home for the past 9 years. I would like to thank the staff for believing in me since I first joined the club and my teammates for all the memories over the years," he said. Cherki won the Under-18 Premier League title with City and he eventually graduated to the Under-21s. He played 22 games in Premier League 2 last season, scoring once and registering 3 assists as the Blues claimed the title. He also played 3 games in the EFL Trophy and once in the UEFA Youth League, but couldn't make a breakthrough at first-team level and has now left to make the move to Hungary. He hadn't been involved with Ben Wilkinson's U21s this season ahead of an expected departure. Spurs now considering cheeky £20 million Man City transfer raid. While the transfer window may have closed for another 3 months, top-flight teams are still scouting and building their shortlists ahead of the January transfer window, according to Court Offside. Spurs are considering a second attempt to sign defender Nathan Ake in the new year after failing to secure a deal during the summer. It's said that Spurs see Ake as a useful rotational option, but they aren't the only team keeping tabs on his situation at City. Apparently both Everton and Nottingham Forest are also keen on the Dutchman, while it's noted that West Ham and Newcastle both looked at him earlier in the summer, presumably before deciding against a bid. The article doesn't claim to know how much City might charge for Ake or whether they would be prepared to let him leave at all after the departure of Manuel Akanji, but it speculates that his value is likely to be close to £20 million. Ake does feel likely to leave City at some point over the next year, but in terms of the specific links to Spurs and other teams, we can only note that this article appears to be very speculative with little of it based on anything especially solid. That doesn't mean that it won't prove to be a good guess come January, of course. Akanji offers further explanation into City exit. Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji has offered a further insight into his exit from the Etihad Stadium, having joined Inter on a season-long loan with option to buy. The Switzerland international's departure was one of the most talked about stories in the final days of the summer transfer window, with his future the subject of multiple approaches from European clubs. AC Milan and Tottenham both held conversations over a move, while Galatasaray had explored the possibility of a package deal earlier in the window involving Ederson and Ilkay Gundogan. Eventually, it was Inter who struck an agreement, completing a loan deal. That arrangement will see Inter cover part of Akanji's wages and pay a €2 million loan fee, with a €15 million buy option clause attached for next summer, becoming mandatory if Akanji features in at least half of Inter's matches and Christian Kivu guides his side to a Serie A title. The defender had already spoken about the sheer competition at Manchester City, noting that Pep Guardiola was transparent about the difficulties of rotating 6 senior centre-backs. Now, he has offered a more personal reflection on his departure. Speaking whilst away on international duty with Switzerland, in comments relayed by Blick, Manuel Akanji spoke of his intention to say a proper farewell to all those at Manchester City when his schedule permits. "It's difficult to realise the whole thing," the 30-year-old said of his move to Inter. "First, we were still part of our old club, and now we're moving, and there are still a few things to sort out," Akanji continued. As translated by Sport Witness, "My family and I have felt very comfortable in Manchester, but I don't regret anything. I'm looking forward to the new challenge. I can hardly wait to meet my new teammates. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to say goodbye to City yet, but I definitely want to do that with a team meal, which isn't so easy due to the schedule. But it's important to me that I can say goodbye and start again." City reject loan offers for Academy starlet. A topsy-turvy window ended on Monday, with Manchester City finishing the summer with 7 first-team signings: Ryan 8 Nouri, Marcus Bettinelli, Tajani Reijnders, Ryan Cherki, Sverre Nypan, James Trafford and Gianluigi Donnarumma. Guardiola's men have made a lackluster start to the campaign, and it remains to be seen if the Blues, boosted by the deadline day acquisition of Gianluigi Donnarumma from Paris Saint-Germain, can get their act together in time for a tricky trio of tests against Manchester United, Napoli and Arsenal after the international break. Despite having sanctioned loans for several academy stars this summer including Lyle Samuel, Oliver Watmuff and Max Allen, Manchester City rejected loan approaches from Swansea City and Ipswich Town for academy defender Stephen Mfuni, as per transfer insider Fabrizio Romano. Mfuni, 17, is considered as a prospect ready to make the step up to the first team in the near future, with academy coaches deeming the young Englishman a strong candidate to break into Guardiola's senior squad in the seasons to come. Phil Foden is a case in point of an academy player Manchester City refused to let leave on loan, gradually integrating the Stockport-born attacker into Guardiola's ranks for him to establish himself as arguably the greatest talent the City Football Academy, CFA, has ever produced. Guardiola needs all the help he can get as he navigates as a key period of transition for the club, with no doubt that the Spaniard will be keeping a close eye on talented stars coming through from the academy with potential to play some part in the first team squad. Lyon plots Man City trio transfer. French side Lyon, who completed the high-profile signing of Ryan Cherki by selling him to City this summer, appear to be positioning themselves as one of the Etihad Stadium club's more active partners. The relationship between the two has been described as cooperative and open, raising the possibility of further business. For Lyon, who continue to rebuild their project in League One while balancing finances, the January market represents an opportunity to bring in talented reinforcements without committing to permanent deals immediately. Manchester City, meanwhile, are well known for allowing promising players or out-of-favour senior figures to leave on loans abroad in search of regular minutes. Now, according to Goal, Lyon are targeting Manchester City trio Calvin Phillips, Nico O'Reilly, and Josh Wilson-Esperand for potential January moves to the French club, holding a working relationship with Etihad bosses following the summer transfer of Ryan Cherki. It is further pointed out that an oral agreement was discussed regarding the loan of a Manchester City player during talks over Cherki. And while nothing materialized in the summer, the League One club remain hopeful of striking a deal in the winter. Looking ahead, the three names on Lyon's radar each carry different levels of intrigue. Phillips has been widely expected to leave Manchester City for months, though his injury and high wages complicate any move. O'Reilly, by contrast, is highly rated within the Etihad Stadium academy system, but may benefit from a loan abroad to continue his development, while simultaneously committing his long-term future to City through a new and renewed contract. As for Josh Wilson-Esperand, the highly rated left-sided fullback already experienced loan stints in France with Reims, making him a logical candidate for a return to League One. That's all for today from City Insider. Thanks for watching, Sky Blues fans. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you'll always be the first to catch the latest Man City news and updates. See you in the next video.